Hello, everyone. I
Hi.
just accidentally hit start recording instead of start streaming, and it took a minute or
Yeah.
so to
I
actually.
refreshed the page and it wasn't coming up and I was like, hey David.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out. Or else we could have gone like a whole hour without
Oh.
me really noticing. Let's see. That was how long was it? It took a full minute, like to the dot, of me not noticing we were not actually streaming. I thought on my laptop it was just everything being slow. So, hello everyone.
Yeah,
Um,
hello.
all
I
right.
exist, as we were saying, kind
So
of.
let's recreate the minute of conversation we had. Uh, so you streamed. I mean, you just binged through episode chapters 2 through 4. So I'll let you start since
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, everything was super complicated, so I only like just today caught up on Ruby, like episodes 2, 3, and 4. So, honestly, okay, my major takeaway from these episodes, like the first thing I think of, um, is it sounds so
I
stupid.
I have a strong guess on it though.
Okay, what do you think it is?
It's gonna be Oscar related. Is it about Oscar and Ruby? Because we were texting about that
Um,
earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically the first thing I think of when I think about these episodes is I know it sounds stupid, but like when Ozpin takes over Oscar and he's like obviously telling him what to say, like he's basically controlling his body, right? But he still talks in Oscar's voice. So he talks so sophisticated. And when Oscar, like not really Oscar, but y'all know what I mean, talks like all suave, it just sounds like so perfect. And I'm like, Oscar, I know it's not really you, but you are like a perfect person. I love him.
I had more of an awkward thought earlier when you and I were talking about him and like Ruby being together.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
it's just
is
uh,
like is Ozpin being like the wingman, or is he like he's like the
no,
in the Oscar wingman? Like, all right, buddy, she can't hear
dude.
what we're
I think
talking about.
okay, yeah. I think it's like 10% that, and then 90%, maybe 595. Who knows? But it's mostly Ozpin's like, oh god, this is so awkward. And this little kid starts getting into this girl who like I was teaching. Like it's gonna be so awkward. But it's
Yeah,
so
he's like
adorable. I
he's like,
can't
does
get
he
over
know
it.
the age difference between her and I?
Yeah.
um, oh, and so chat started noticing some stuff that the thumbnail and the title both say featuring Cal. Cal has said she's gonna be on today's stream. She hasn't called us back yet. Like we messaged her. We're technically on a group call right now, except for Cal has not jumped into the group call yet. So once she does, we'll jump into like the group cast setting instead of the stuff. I tried to get everything set up like 10 minutes ahead of time, and we waited 10 minutes for
Mm-hmm.
Cal, and she didn't show up. So anyway, uh, yeah. Oscar's voice actor was like very good. Like I noticed that a lot during was it chapter 3 when they were sitting in the room and Oscar
Yeah.
switched into Ozpin. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh
I
man,
think
that's
so.
so cool and so weird because it sounded like they had like a bit of Shannon McCormick's voice and like mixed with it at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
very beginning, like the first word or two, and then it goes into just Oscar's voice, but mimicking Ozpin's like voice pattern, and it
It
was
just is very sophisticated.
yeah,
Like it sounds like
but seriously, almost it took me a while to like even realize it wasn't Shannon talking. Like I was like, wait, is that Shannon talking like Oscar, or
yeah.
is that Oscar
It was
talking like
super
Ozpin? It
weird.
was like, what is going on? And
Yeah, it was
oh
super weird. Just like, oh yeah, she's coming.
yeah,
She's
yeah, I just saw
coming.
she's like, give me a minute. I'm like, thank goodness we're not gonna have a stream with an awkward thumbnail and title.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
please
I,
tell me
I
that's
just
my 2DS arriving. Sorry. Okay, I'm hearing dogs bark at the door.
I
Oh,
hear them too.
it's like, please tell me someone did not steal the 2DS being shipped over. Um, so, okay, sorry, I'm gonna go off topic for a bit. On Wednesday, I bought the Pokeball 2DS XL. And then Amazon was like, all right, it'll arrive Friday. And then the tracking info said Wednesday, left shipping facility at 3:50 p.m. And it has not updated since, but it said
I
it's
hate
supposed to
that.
arrive today till 3 p.m. So I'm like, okay, it should be arriving, right? Like, the guy didn't, like, look at the box and go, oh my gosh, this is the new Pokeball 2DS. I'm going to keep this for myself. No one will miss it. And, because it's that time of year, so, where packages get stolen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully it didn't get stolen.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping it just arrived at the door because it sounded like it was just someone dropping something off.
Yeah.
And I saw Hails to Taco has mentioned Extra Life. I'm very excited for that. Are you? Did you know it's tomorrow?
I didn't know until like today.
I mean, you've been super busy, and I feel like they've been somewhat not advertising it as much this year as they did last year. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it wasn't until like last night I started really being hit by Rooster Teeth talking about Extra Life. So I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna get the little badges. Did you see the badges they're releasing?
Just assume I haven't seen anything.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing for like $8 or $10 if you donate, you'll get like Pokemon based badges off of Rooster Teeth, Ruby, Achievement Hunter, and Funhouse. And then the poster this year is like Rooster Teeth Land, which is like a theme park based off of all the stuff. Which I really want to get that poster, but at the same time, my wallet is like, dude, you don't have anything to donate. Please don't.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to help, but it's also like, guys, no.
Yeah.
Oh, and community Extra Life was last weekend, and Shinu helped out with that. That's what Smash was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hearing people talk at the front. What the heck?
Yeah, I hear voices.
Yeah. Okay, so. Wait, has Cal messaged back? Okay, no, she hasn't.
No, not yet.
I'm just gonna assume she's gonna jump into the call, and then I'll have to quickly switch the setting.
Okay.
But the badges are $25? Oh no.
Rip.
I can't get the badges. I don't have $25 to give. I have bills to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Back to Ruby though.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep talking about the Oscar Osmond situation?
Okay, well, I was gonna say like another thing. Two of my close friends, they've actually caught up with Ruby recently. So like they're like pretty much completely caught up. And we were all like talking about Ozpin and Oscar. We were just like bonding over like how adorable it is, and it was just fun. But like also, oh god, I forgot the second part of what I was gonna say. I really appreciate it. I don't know how to like. For me, that stuff just made those episodes so much better. Like, it's so great. Like, I can't even explain.
You're just a big Oscar fangirl, and you're like, look at all this screen time. Look at all this bonding he's getting. Look how plot important he is.
I pretty much remember what I was gonna say, but yes. And we were talking about this a bit ago. We were talking about how it's pretty, I guess, obvious to us. It might be pretty subjective to other people that Oscar thinks Ruby's pretty cute.
Yeah.
He was like blushing while talking to her, and first of all, that's just adorable. And second of all, it's just like I think we said this a minute ago, but just like it must be just so awkward for Ozpin. He's just like, don't do this.
Because eventually their souls are gonna merge, so it's like, okay.
Yeah,
and like I'm guessing
awkward.
it's still gonna be more of like an Avatar situation where it's Oscar's the dominant personality, but he could still call back on like Ozpin now and then or something. But
yeah, I'm gonna be so depressed if like Oscar how he is now completely goes away, because he is adorable and funny and sweet, and it's like if that just goes away and then like some weird thing happens and he's like more like Ozpin and all mysterious and emo, I'm gonna be so sad.
No, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be Oscar dominant. Like, I'm just guessing from
Hopefully.
like Avatar, and also like how awkward would it be for little boy Oscar to be like full old man mode, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think as it goes, he's gonna be a weird mix.
Oh
So,
yeah. AC Gears and Arms says he needs new clothes. Yes, please. I want a sick like hunter outfit.
are you sure that was AC Gears and Arms and not Inspector Who?
I mean, I see AC Gears and Arms said he needs better clothes. Country boy clothing won't cut it anymore. That's what I see. Oh, in fact, who also said that?
Sorry, that just
But-
barely popped up for me. That's weird. The chat's a little slower for me, and I'm the host. What the heck, YouTube? Okay, here's a question that'll be good for us. What do you think is Oscar's favorite food? I'm gonna go with mashed potatoes. He's a farm boy.
I'm
Farm people
gonna
like
go.
mashed potatoes.
I'm gonna go with corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob. They kind of go
Yeah.
together. You can
Yeah.
have
I don't
those in
know.
the same meal.
This is
like...
the type of question where it's like I love this character and I don't want to get the question wrong.
But the thing is, the answers are like headcanon, so it's like it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter unless they're gonna like have a very specific episode where they're eating, and Oscar's like, I don't like this food. My favorite food is pork chops or something like that. Then it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, now his favorite food is a canon. We must change it. Okay, and Raul Bethesda says Oscar and Osmond are a Yu-Gi-Oh type thing with souls. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh and Avatar play that situation pretty similarly. And speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, it seems like a lot of the animators have been watching the Yu-Gi-Oh stream on Twitch. And I've been meaning to watch it, and I haven't, and I think it's over now, and I'm very sad. But I did pull out all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and start organizing them into decks.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of cards, for some reason I still got a double gold box, even though I canceled my subscription, and it came with the Team Ruby card.
Oh, nice.
And on the back, it is signed by Geo. You can't really tell, but there's like a heart in her signature, like for the eye.
So cool.
Yeah. And on the back, it says for Ruby, attack is 10, colors are 4, and arms are 7. Which is like, she had to go there with the arms. Like,
Yeah.
but, oh man, I just really love this series. And I got this on Ruby's 5th anniversary as well. Like, that's the day the box arrived at my house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so lucky. But then, even luckier than that, now that I started thinking about it, with all the double gold boxes, my Ruby Chibi card is also signed.
Oh, nice.
And so it's like, wow, it's just like all the Ruby related cards that I have are signed. And that's pretty awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Nikolai is asking, do you think we'll get a Stark flashback?
Please.
I'm hoping. Like,
Yeah, I'm hoping.
because one of the best episodes of Volume 3 was the Villains episode, where it was all flashback.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope that tomorrow's episode will have a little bit of that, or at least when it goes back to Weiss and Yang with Raven talking, that it will go back into something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh, like we know nothing about like Summer. Like
yeah.
we need a Stark episode just for her at least.
Yeah, and at least, like, I'm hoping when Raven talks to Weiss and Yang to kind of discourage them from following Ozpin and his side of the conflict, that she's gonna bring up Summer and, like, what happened with her, because I bet it's related to the thing with the maidens and fighting against Salem.
Oh yeah, speaking of Raven and them, just like a quick thing I noticed. I mean, it's pretty much confirmed that like short hair girl with blue eyes and the tattoo, she's a Spring Maiden, right?
Yeah, because she shot lightning, and the only person I know that shot
That's what I
lightning
was
was
gonna
Fall
say.
Maiden. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, when I saw that, I was really glad because it's like, it was one of those moments where they weren't doing they weren't like telling, they were showing.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. And it was like right on the good boundary of subtle, but like at the same time obvious, because we know like people who shoot lightning out of their hands, it's probably a maiden, but at the same time it was so fast and like it wasn't a big deal that I felt like that was like a really good like clue, even though we already know. But hopefully you get what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And Verif pointed out that her name literally means pertaining to spring. Which,
wait, what's her name? I don't even know.
That beats me. Like, I don't read the credits. I'm recording a reaction video. I just immediately hit pause and look at a camera and start talking. So it's interesting to know that. But I'm really glad that they had her shooting lightning instead of like they go into the Raven's tent and she's like, oh, by the way, to also convince you to not follow Osmond is the Spring Maiden right here. And you'd be like, ugh. Like, we've already seen this character, and now they're just revealing it, and that would have been very underwhelming. Okay, her name is Vernal. Thank you, Verif, Nameless, Hunsesty, and Inspector Who. Oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, Nameless, on my reaction video to Chapter 3, made a very interesting observation that I didn't notice, but maybe you did since you watched Chapters 2 through 4 straight through. In Chapter 3... Ozpin, I guess, I was like, no, Oscar, they're the same person, really. He mentioned there's a month left till school starts, but then when Gira was giving his speech, he said there was 2 months.
Yeah.
And so everyone's kind of guessing, or at least Nameless and I are guessing, that Blake's storyline is just a little behind of at least where Team Ranger is. We don't really know where Weiss and Yang are, but I'm gonna assume they're closer to what Ranger are at than where Blake is. And people are like, oh, like what's going on with that? And I think Blake's storyline, as it progresses through the volume, it'll catch us up to her being more present at where Team Ranger is, and eventually just reuniting them.
Yeah, I think like lots of people have kind of, I guess, made complaints about like timeline confusion because Blake's just feels really disconnected with everything else. Like if they put more Blake screen time in the beginning to catch it up and then like more balance it out, I would appreciate that better than like in one scene saying school's gonna start in 1 month and then like later on they're like school's gonna start in 2 months.
Yeah, and so I'm glad because like Volume 4 had like no hints of like where they were in relation to each other timeline wise.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they kind of like found a way to slide that into it for Volume 5. Be like, hey, just so you know, this will make it a little bit more obvious. They're not all at the same part. Because like other series like Game of Thrones is like very confusing timeline wise because you'll jump from like 4 different characters' perspectives, and they're all like a month or 2 behind what some other character would be at, and you kind of have to like piece it together yourself exactly when is happening when for who.
I don't know, like I finished watching Game of Thrones recently, like all of our friends watched it, and the timeline seemed pretty coherent to me. Like
the TV show does it a bit better, but like the books from how I've been seeing it, and like at the beginning of each of the books is like, just so you know, some of these characters like storylines within this book takes a year, some characters it just takes a few months. Like everyone's timeline is completely whack, and I'm really glad Ruby is at least like tying it back all together, and eventually with the team reuniting it'll all be everyone's at the same time, no need to be confused.
I always think of things I want to say and then I forget, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I go blank all the time. One question that's been on my mind since Volume 4 pretty much is how long of like a school break does everyone get from like the end of one school year to the next? Because at this point it would almost be like a full year since the Vital Festival once Mistral school starts. If they had like a 6 to 8 month period of time between Volume 3 and the beginning of Volume 4, and then Volume 4 took a couple of months.
Yeah. Do you happen to remember Okay, what was the time skip was what, 3 months?
Between 3 and 4?
Between 3 and 4.
Between 3
And
and 4,
then
they said 6 to 8 months, but then I think they changed it to 3. I remember last year at RTX 2016, they specifically said 6 to 8 months. But I think more recently they have changed it to 3.
okay, because I'm thinking like Ranger goes off, they leave Patch, and there's snow, so it's obviously winter, and
Mhm.
then it's been several months. Oh, I think she's joining.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
There-
Time to re do stuff. Cal, are you on?
Hi, I was gonna scare you, but I guess that didn't work.
Yeah. Like your face kind of spooked me because like it went from like seeing Sunny's face to all of a sudden like there's half of your stuff there.
Yeah, for some reason with the time change, I got very confused. But I'm here now, and
Oh,
I'm ready.
yeah, I was wondering if Canada got the daylight savings or not.
Well, it's like it's dependent on where in Canada, and so I feel like that's more like it's kind of like the US, like not all of Canada is like chill with that.
Oh,
Um
really? Because here it's like only Arizona that's not chill with that.
like some towns just don't
Oh, okay.
want to. Also, I think that my webcam is broken. How far are you guys into stuff?
Uh, 21 and a half minutes, but we've been talking a lot about chapters 2 and 3 because Sunny just caught up today.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
your webcam's a thing now. People are seeing like my crazy way of like cropping your windows. So I hope you don't mind.
That's okay.
People are
Can
gonna
I
be
finish
super
what I was
stretched.
talking about?
Okay, yeah, you can finish.
It's not gonna take that long. But like they left in the winter. It's been several months. I think by the end of volume 4, can we just say it's been a total of like 6 months?
Oh, between the beginning of volume 3 and end of volume 4?
Between like the end of volume 3 and the end of volume 4.
Say it was 6 months. Yeah, I think that's more
Yeah.
believable than the original between 3 and 4 was 6 to 8 months.
They really don't want to establish a timeline. Like they're trying so hard not to.
Yeah.
They,
They don't want to,
they,
but like
they had a good timeline, and then after volume 3, they're like, screw it. Time isn't a thing.
yeah. But just like the reason I was trying to think about it is because they said like school's gonna start soon, right? So if it's
Yeah.
like if there's like the winter semester, like we pass through all that, and then say like if there's a summer break, shouldn't we like kind of be back to fall at this point almost?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it
by
should
the
be
time
getting
school
close to fall.
starts. So it would
Yeah.
just make sense that they have like spring and fall semesters, right?
Yeah. So I would say, like, right around now is, like, the end of summer, so to say. And then, because school usually starts, like, the last few weeks of summer going into fall.
Yeah.
So that's where I would guess they are. I would say Blake, because she's a month behind everyone currently. She's even more in the middle of the summer. If that makes sense.
That annoys me a lot. Like I know why they're doing it, but like in terms of Blake, but it's just that like I don't know, like it's like none of her actions now, not that they don't have any meaning, but it's more like she's not going to change what we're already seeing in the future, like everything that everything that has happened with Ozpin and Ruby like up till now, they're in the present, so Blake's actions obviously didn't seem to affect any of that, if that makes any sense. Like everything that we're seeing of Blake right now, not that it doesn't matter, obviously we should see it, but like it's not going to change anything as we're seeing it.
Yeah, if
It's just
anything,
sucky.
it'd be nice to see like Team Ranger like acknowledge, hey, did you see that broadcast from Menagerie? Like, seems like Blake might be coming around or something. Because if anything, they should have a heads up about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
it seems like everything she's doing in that timeline is just like, well, she's doing it. That's great.
yeah. Oh, okay. So AC Gears in the Armor says, "Do the three of you believe Summer and Winter Maidens will be kept under watch by the headmasters?" I think so. I'm gonna guess Atlas has the Winter Maiden.
Mhm.
Yeah.
just because it's all cold there, or at least I feel like it would be cold there. They're more north, I guess, but
And I mean, there might be evil people also trying to like blackmail or whatever those headmasters. I obviously think it's not as prevalent as
I think that's
with
kind of what has
Lionheart.
Ironwood so paranoid right now. He's like, they're coming after
Yeah.
me. Gotta fight
I
them
think
with my
there's
gun
gonna
gun.
be some fishy business.
Yeah. Oh, so Cal, you might know the
Yeah.
answer to this question because Sunny and I earlier were trying to figure it out, and I didn't want to
Okay.
cheat by using Google. But do you know the ship name between Oscar and Ruby?
It's Rose Garden.
Rose Garden.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
someone
think
mentioned
I've
that in the
heard
chat.
that.
Someone said that Rose Garden's looking good. I'm like, what the heck is Rose Garden?
That's just
Okay.
the best. I love it.
It makes sense. That's a great one.
We did a video on it like 4 months ago or something, like way before like they started interacting, and I feel like I need an update video to that, like Rose Garden Part 2.
Yeah.
All my shipping videos are basically before this volume, which is like Freezer
Yeah.
Burn needs an update. That one needs an update.
To me, you're like the ship name like
Am I the expert now?
expert. Yeah, because you're doing all the videos.
Professional.
I'm like she
Yeah.
should at least somewhat remember what the ship name is because she makes like a 14-minute video on every ship.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
so, do you have any specific thoughts about chapters 3 or 4, Cal?
Oh boy, I didn't remember what happened in chapter 3, to be honest. Like, it's just, I know, but that was when, like, was menagerie stuff happening? And
Yeah, that was
one?
menagerie,
Yeah.
and then like Oscar telling Ruby she
Yeah.
needs to learn hand to hand, and
For, like,
I think
for
that was
volume
mostly it.
3, I was annoyed a little, or volume 3. For the third episode, I got annoyed with Sun a little bit because, like, instead of using his clones or anything, and, like, he
just jumps
shouted
after.
before he surprised attacked, and I was
Yeah.
just like, okay, you
Yeah,
can
that-
do that, I guess.
That really irked me. I'm like, son, the whole point about giving a surprise attack is they don't know ahead of time that you're
I know
about
they
to
had to
attack.
let her get away and whatever, but I was like, seriously, guys, you couldn't have let her. And where did she grapple onto? Because she just
She's
floated
Spider-Man.
away,
You don't
and I was
ask
like,
questions
where
like
did
that.
she go?
It's like in Spider-Man, you're like, meh, I'll just trust there is something invisible in the air that he hooked onto.
And I was just like, okay, whatever. And then with the Oscar stuff, though, that was interesting. And that
yes.
the weird thing is, though, is that like the gods cursed Ozpin like for not being able to get Salem under control, I guess. But like Salem still has a color name, and Monty officially said like Ozpin is the only character that doesn't have a color name because reasons. And so like maybe Salem changed her name after a while, but that seems like a weird little thingy that if she's as old as Ozpin, her color name shouldn't exist. But I don't know what happened.
Wait, she has
with
a
it.
color name?
Yeah, apparently,
Yeah.
because in the color naming rule list, like Monty kind of listed out everything, and he's like the only person that doesn't have one is Ozpin. And I'm
Well, I
guessing
mean,
he
like-
kept Salem in mind. So
I mean, does Salem actually have anything to do with the color? Because I feel like he just didn't
it's
want
a
to reveal.
flower
Oh,
or something.
mean-
Like it's a pink.
I'm looking
flower,
up Salem
apparently.
color. Okay, it's like a pinkish red color.
Hmm.
So, you know the color of like her eyes or like the little necklace she has?
yeah.
It's like that color.
Okay. Well,
So, or at
I
least
don't
from
know.
the
I
looks
feel
of it.
like he didn't want to even. I don't know. When I think of Salem, I don't think it's a color. So I personally think like Monty just didn't want to like say, "Hey, this person named Salem exists. Look out for her name, whatever."
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna like full screen it. But this is like
Well, it's
what
like
the Salem color is, apparently. According to Google.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or there's like yeah, pretty much like these colors.
It'd be interesting if somebody asked them about that just to like clarify with them, but she could have like totally just changed her like alias after a while.
I mean, like if she's existing for like thousands of years or whatever, she's like, "I'm bored of this one. I'm gonna choose a new name."
Yeah, or even just to kind of trick like Cinder into thinking like, I haven't been around that long. I have a color name just like all you people or something.
Or
Mhm.
or maybe I don't know. I thought I had something clever in my head, but it just fell apart. I was gonna say, with that war on, like, having people be individual and use colors, I was like, well, maybe she was the one that started the color name stuff. I'm like, wait. She would have been on the opposite side of that.
Yeah.
So...
It's just weird, because it's like, okay, so if you were cursed to keep, like, her in line, and you've been here for 1,000 years, she also would at least have to be 1,000 years old, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Maybe he was supposed to stop her from changing her name to a color name, and he failed, and then he got cursed. Maybe that's what happened. He was like, no, Cynthia, don't change your name to Salem. And then she's like, oh,
I feel like
I just
Cynthia
signed
is
it.
also a color name.
Great. Hold on, I'm Googling Cynthia color.
Everything's a flower at this point. That's
I
just what it is.
Okay. Oh, that would have been... Okay, so Google is racist. I typed in Cynthia color, and there's only pictures of black women showing up.
Huh.
And it's not like the same woman. There's like Oprah and other people.
Why?
I mean, quite a few of them are the same person.
I'm gonna look this up too now.
Yeah, like I'm just looking at Google Images. I'm like, okay, a lot of these look like the same person.
Maybe it's because I got Cynthia the color purple, and so I'm wondering.
Oh,
if
she's
it's
in the
'cause of
play
that.
The Color Purple. She won a Tony nominee.
The
Her
musical,
name's Cynthia Irova.
Yeah.
Okay, Google, I'll let this one slide, but watch it next time. Okay. I was like, I really don't know what to say about this Google search. Like, so...
I like how Connor in the chat's like, Cynthia maybe a shade black. Like, you've tried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's the benefit of a doubt I wanted to give Google, but I'm like, that's still racist. Like, it's like, oh no. I don't know. I don't know what Salem's previous name could have been. Maybe her name was just name, so that's not a color by accident.
She didn't have a name.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's like, I'm gonna give myself a name. And he's like, well, better not be a color. She's like, watch me. And then he got cursed. I don't know. So Inspector Who said, so Ozpin is cursed by the gods, meaning he isn't either the gods, and the gods don't like Salem is interesting.
Yeah. I couldn't figure that out at first, because I was like, well, why do they give a shit? You know what I mean? Like, at least the Dark God, because I figured the Light God would be pissy, but, like, if she's working with the Grim, the Dark God should be like, hey. But now somebody, like, in my commenting in one of my videos said, well, they both made humanity, and she threatens humanity, so the Dark God's probably also mad, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot more
sense. That makes sense, because, honestly, it seems like Salem, being the evil person that she is, and taking rebellion and destruction, which is taken more from the darker god, she might be taking that for her own personal interest, which wouldn't be his interest. So even though she's technically following in his footsteps, she's pissing him off. And
and they still made humanity, so that, like, he probably still likes humans, at least a little bit.
Yeah,
was so probably like, what you doing there, Salem? Like, I made these people too, you're not doing this right.
Well, I think Salem's more after, like, power and, like, ruling over people. And if I remember correctly, like, it seemed like during the Civil War of, like, stopping people from being individual and stuff like that, she might have been, like, pulling some strings from the shadows. So she might be trying to rule everyone and kind of mold them into, like, her own picture and hold control. And just kind of stop individuality, which both the brothers would have been against.
Yeah.
Nikolai said dark gods like evil people like Adam.
Oh boy.
Oh, hey. Yeah?
What?
No,
what were you
you
saying?
go. No, because what I was going to say might have gone into a long conversation. You start.
I mean, can we just talk about Adam and Sienna Khan for a minute?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. For my first comment. I saw lots of comments about this, but, like, it makes sense. Does anyone think Sienna Khan's semblance has something to do with, like, 9 lives? Like, she's not actually dead.
I've seen it. When I saw that, I took it as a joke.
Dead.
Yeah, I'm like, I took that more as like a joke.
But she's so cool, and they can't just, like, take her away after like what 5 minutes? Like that's not fair.
I think the rules to like semblances, I don't remember if this is for like OC characters or like actual rules set up by Monty, but I think semblances can't like bring the dead back to life or teleport or like do anything to do with time. Which
now I guess
with
Raven
Raven,
can, but that's
it's
a
like,
little that's a
Raven,
different
you
story.
special snowflake.
It's just like I'm gonna be so emo if she's actually dead because she was so cool and she's there for like 5 minutes and Adam's like, I'm totally emo. Like here, I'm gonna like stab you with my fancy sword and I'm gonna sit on the chair and now you're dead. Like that's not fair.
Well, now that they established like that you need to turn your aura on, I feel like it's just kind of like she didn't have hers on and that's why she died. Like I feel like that's how they explain that.
Yeah.
Like now looking back on what they've said like in the more recent episodes about aura, and like a couple people thought they were kind of retconning a bit, but like it was never explicitly said that it was passive. Like we just kind of all thought that, and now we
or
got wrong.
even like Adam's sword itself hasn't been fully explained.
Yeah, and he broke through Yang's aura because they said that like
she's been weakened
it was
down
so
by
strong
battle.
it broke through the aura and her arm.
Yeah,
and like her life.
But also like, as far as from what I could tell from the Black trailer, it seems like his sword could absorb and then like store that power and then like unleash it in its own attack.
Yeah.
So I took it as like a mix of Yang's aura was weakened by a bit, and then like he also just had a lot of stuff absorbed into his sword at that time. Mm-hmm. And with the Sienna Khan, this seemed like premeditated, so I'm guessing he might have had some guys just shooting guns into his sword and he's just charging it like heh heh heh. And then like Sienna Khan just not expecting something like a combo of those killed him.
Yeah, I'm just butthurt.
I made a video about like believing in Sienna Khan because I couldn't say like Sienna Khan is dead like when the episode came out because like people would have gotten a bit pissy, and apparently I already spoiled Portal on something first episode.
Oh yeah, it's just slightly like I saw the thumbnail. I'm like, oh no, I know that happens, and then like it was with the like communication grim, like I don't know the official name, but yeah, animation team's pretty much confirmed Sienna Khan is dead.
No.
And so like that video got like 1,000 views, and I'm like, don't worry, like there's 1,000 like and 100 other people that were really also salty.
Yeah, I mean like animation crew, they didn't know she was supposed to die till like after they designed her. So they put in all this effort thinking she was going to be super important, and then they saw the script saying she was supposed to be killed in the episode she's introduced, and like, well...
I guess it's helpful not to tell the animators too much, though, because, like, obviously they have non-disclosure agreements, but, like, you don't want them to know, like, that much. You want to keep them on their toes a little bit.
Yeah, the less people...
They may not put as much effort, right?
Yeah, the less people that know, the easier it is to keep things under lock.
I mean, like, it would make sense that she needs to be intricate anyway, because she's, like, the high leader of the White Fang. Super important,
We
apparently.
all, like, would know that she would have died if she looked like a shadow person or something.
Yeah,
like, if
like
she just
very
super
minimal
plain,
detail.
Like, the background characters in, like, Volume 2, like, I guess. Like, we're just randomizing all the assets. Like, there's a blue-haired Nora.
Yeah.
Somewhere, like, all that stuff. Like, that would have been...
Oh man, blue-haired Nora, can that make a return? like I'm actually a relative of Nora's.
Oh my god.
Oh, and like the Thor's Day reference.
Yeah, that was. I didn't catch that the first time, but
like she got struck on a Thor's Day, and it was like, man, like when I was watching it, it didn't click. But then later that day, I was scrolling through Facebook, and one of the pages I follow always makes a Thor's Day joke. Because like Thor from the Avengers, I'm like, oh wait, I think that Nora thing was like a clever Easter egg and joke.
Yeah.
So, okay, AC Gears and Arms is asking if we think that Crow and Raven will fight this volume.
Oh, I hope so. That would be dope.
Dude, I think that was like the one thing I was slightly disappointed about with Chapter 4 was Yang not having a fight with her mom. Like a physical fight.
Yeah.
They'll get there, don't worry.
Yeah, it felt like it was building up to that. I'm like, fight, fight, fight. Oh,
Yeah, something's
Weiss!
gonna boil over.
Yeah. Okay, Connor brought up an interesting point. He said, what if Salem and the Dark God were lovers slash spouses at some point?
Well, I mean, everyone was saying Salem and Ozpin were lovers, so like.
Wait, I mean, that would make sense. They had a rough breakup, hold a grudge for
I also
several
said
millennia.
that like maybe Ozpin was lonely and he made Salem like as a girlfriend, and
Yeah.
so.
Okay, I think someone's calling for you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm just ignoring her. It's okay.
Okay. just as long as you don't get in trouble, okay.
Yeah, I know. And so, like, I feel like he just kind of made Salem because he was lonely, and then, like, sort of like a Frankenstein monster, but also,
Oh
like,
my
Adam and
God.
Eve situation. But, like, I don't know. I don't know.
That would be so weird.
It's just it's weird because like when you look at other versions of the Wizard of Oz, like the Disney movie had them almost be together, and then that didn't happen.
Oh, wait,
I
are you
haven't
talking
watched
about
Once
Oz
Upon
the
a
Great
Time,
and
so I
Powerful with
Yeah.
Franco in it?
Yeah.
That
And
was
so
a
there's
good
that one.
movie. I liked it.
And then Once Upon a Time did something, but I don't know what it did because I haven't watched it in a while. And then you have Wicked, where like Salem would be with Crow, like if they were following that, and then like Salem would be Ozpin's daughter, if I remember how Wizard of Oz was trying to do that. And so like
Oh
there's a
my.
lot of interpretations they should go for, but that doesn't mean that they should go with any of them or all of them.
Yeah. Oh man. Also, can I just say, like, the moment with like Weiss and Yang reuniting? I think that's gonna be like one of the most iconic moments in this trilogy of volumes for Ruby, because it was like, she kidnapped me. You kidnapped her? Like, that part just was like so iconic to me. I'm like, dude, people are gonna be quoting that forever now.
It was a great scene, to be honest. Like
It was so wholesome.
Yeah, I honestly like cried during that part. Like, tears came out of my eyes. Like, it was hard to see them on camera, but it was like it just hit me when Home started playing,
I know that was the best part.
and I was just like, oh my gosh, Weiss thinks Yang, or Team Ruby by extension, is home, and it was like, she's home, and I just started crying. It was like, Weiss T is home. She phoned home. But it was just awesome just seeing that reunion, and I just it was so perfect, and I cried. I'm just glad she wasn't in another cage for too long. 'Cause after
Yeah.
Volume 4 and all the crap she went through for that, I was like, don't you put her in another cage for long.
I mean, by the looks of it, like, she wasn't going to be stuck there very long. Like, once everyone's, like, sleeping, she could just break out super easily.
Yeah, she was ready to go, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I don't know about you guys, but when she pulled out the knight in Chapter 4, I thought he was going to cut the ties on her wrists, but he went for,
Yeah,
like, the
me too.
cage instead.
I
I'm
was
like,
just like, what y'all doing?
yeah, I'm like, are you going to try to pick the lock with your sword? You look like you're just hitting the bars. I don't think that's going to do too good.
Yeah.
It's like, either pick the lock or cut her ties, or both, you know? Like, don't
I
go
mean-
whacking the bars.
Maybe it was kind of a thing like, okay, like, if someone comes over here and catches me in the act, it'd be easier to, like, make the summon go away than be like, oh, the ropes must have accidentally fallen off my hands. Like,
Yeah, I didn't think about it too much. But, like, on that, that's a good point. But also, it's like, how the heck did you put, like, these dents in these bars? Like, you're handcuffed. What are you hiding? Like,
Yeah.
I think either way would have brought some interrogation.
They were so drunk though, like they didn't notice. Let's be real. They were not.
Yeah, I mean, we at least know where Crow gets it from now.
It's just all the
The
bandits.
bandits,
It's
yeah.
all of them.
He's like, oh, the bandits all used to do this and just caught on to me from a young age. Made it really hard once I went to Beacon. Those were the worst years of my life being sober. Something like that. It's like, so Rala is saying maybe the ropes were already cut and she was holding the ropes tied. It didn't look like that because I think they did cut her ties when she got out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would pull up the episode, but that would include volume, and I don't want to mess that up. So.
Oh yeah, Inspector Who says, I thought Yang was going to, I think they meant to say, see Weiss's sword before seeing her. That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I
because
was
the
so
Screen
excited
Maiden
for
was
that
out
to
in the
happen,
open with
but
it.
Didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, how did
sad,
Yang not
sad.
see it?
I honestly didn't notice that till I was editing it and editing my reaction on Wednesday. I was like, what the heck? Like, she has the sword right in the open. Weiss! I mean, Yang! Look!
And like, I don't know how Weiss didn't hear Yang yelling. Like, I know the
Yeah.
thing was clanging or whatever, but I was like, oh come on, like you can don't lie to me. Like,
I mean, who
Yeah.
knows how
or
long
whatever.
she's been without, like, a cup of water, you know? She might be, like, thinking she's hallucinating
She's
from
delirious,
dehydration.
you know?
She's like, yeah, I'm dehydrated, I'm hallucinating things, just keep cutting away, little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, Cal, I didn't have a chance to watch your video right before VYTALCast, but I saw you uploaded a video with an interesting title, with the
is
question
it the
of,
Adam one?
yeah, is Adam
Okay.
human?
Yeah, semblance of sanity, and then Dan, we're talking, or like,
The Kaito Dan?
yeah, he was talking. They were talking about that on Twitter, and then I jumped in and I was like, like this is a good idea.
And then you
and, like-
immediately made a video on it.
Yeah, basically. Well, I made it last week, but like, if
Okay.
stuff's not like gonna be solved like in the next episode, like I save it for the patrons, and so it's been just kind of sitting around for 2 weeks because I do early access for them, and so like.
Yeah.
All of like the videos about the recent episode get uploaded right away, but that one was just like, I'm sure that they won't discover this anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I felt fine just leaving it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was, it's all their fault. So if you want somebody to blame, they did it.
I'll just take it to Twitter. Kaito Dan, why?
I know, like, semblance, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Caleb.
Oh, man.
Whatever he's doing anyway.
So was that based off of? It said the Jungle Book, right?
Yeah.
it? So what exactly from the Jungle Book are you talking about? Like he's the
Mowgli,
main
basically.
character.
And stuff, yeah.
I can't pronounce his name because I've only seen it twice.
I've never seen it before. It was an experience trying to do this without
What?
watching any of the movies.
Were you just like Wikia everything about the Jungle Book to get everything?
It was sort of like, I know the basics of it because I'm pretty sure, like, I'm sure I've seen it once because we have the movie. It's just like I haven't seen the new Disney remade or whatever.
Yeah,
and
me
I
neither.
haven't, like, I haven't done any of that, and so, it was just kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna look up the book and then I'm gonna look up everything else that is probably important, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, Adam might be human? Like, I've been thinking, especially ever since Ilya, when her mask broke off, and you found out her
Yeah.
horns were part of the mask. And
Yeah,
Adam's
that's
horns
what
are
I
very
was talking
similarly
about, too.
positioned, so it's like, okay. And we've never seen him without his mask, so that could very well be the
Yeah.
reason why he's wearing it. But,
And that's why I thought Sienna was trying to like get at him at the last second. Like, wait, guys, like he's not actually, because like I think it's Shere Khan and then the bear in the Jungle Book that like take him in or whatever. And so like Sienna would know, and then Gira would know, and then like they just didn't say anything about it.
Okay.
I guess.
which would be interesting because all along we've been thinking that he was inspired by the Beauty and the Beast, just like
Yeah.
Blake.
Yeah.
And that'll be an interesting plot twist, especially with how much he hates humans. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
but you're human. Why do you hate humans? I mean, I can't blame you, but why do you hate humans, human?
Yeah. And then
So-
it's like, because with the Beauty and the Beast stuff, like, everybody thinks it's that, and I'm sure it was, and I'm sure it still is, like,
It could be a mix of both.
and
for
girls
him.
are kind of also their fairy tale villains, you know what I mean? Like, even in the songs, like, Blake is supposed to be the Beast, and she's supposed to be Belle, because that's how kind of they describe her
Yeah, that makes sense.
most times. And, like, they explicitly said with Ruby they wanted her to be Little Red and the wolf, and so they were going to give her silver hair, but then they changed, like, the wolf part to be her silver eyes, and I was like, And so there's kind of, like, all of that stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, like, even, like, there's a lot of, like, different things, but I feel like they can double up on inspirations, because Roman was supposed to be the dude from Pinocchio and then the Clockwork Orange guy, like, fused into one. Like, I don't think they're just gonna stick with one, like, you are this fairy tale, and so help me God. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna expand if you want to put it that way.
Are either one of you double gold subscribers?
I am not.
Okay, so my last box arrived a few days ago, and one of the items was a Roman candle, like a torchwick candle, and it was like pumpkin spice scented.
That's hilarious.
It smells terrible. Like,
no, does it?
Yeah, it does. It was like, oh, guys, I know you have to go with a cheap candle, or else there'll be like nothing else in this box. But
oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Like, pumpkin spice is meant to be in your coffee, not in your candles. That's how I took it.
I mean, it can smell nice, but if it doesn't, that's disappointing.
Yeah, like, my mom even smelled it. It's just like, maybe that'll be like the Secret Santa giveaway gift, or like a
like
white elephant. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be that. But yeah, I think the coolest things from the last box I got was this Grimm shirt that I'm wearing, and then like the Ruby card that was signed by Geo. So yeah, I didn't think so much about like the main team being based off of their villains or opposites as well. Although I would argue Beast is not the villain in Beauty and the Beast, but Gaston is.
And so that's where things get really crazy.
Yeah. Wait. Is there a bit of Gaston in Blake?
I mean, I guess like they're just trying to go more opposites than villains. Like,
okay.
because even like if you think about it, Goldilocks is kind of the villain in like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like she's a protagonist, but that doesn't mean she's not the villain.
Yeah, she's like the anti-hero. She breaks into someone's house, eats their food, tries their beds.
Because then you got like the huntsman, like that seems to be kind of like Jacques, and then like Whitley to an extent, like for Snow White, and then Jacques also obviously being the evil stepmother and. I guess the evil stepfather in this case or whatever. And so like they're just kind of, I don't want to say they're all over the place because that makes them sound scatterbrained, but they're going in. They're just using everything. A lot of people like think there's a couple things. So that Adam is like actually the Beast, and that's kind of the most common thing right now. Adam is the bad part of Gaston, while like Sun is like the good part of Gaston. And then that Adam is the enchantress because he kind of cursed Blake, like in a roundabout way, like
I would say
himself. That. And so like there's some popular different interpretations of him, which I think is cool. But, yeah.
Although with him being like the Beast, like a lot of people I've seen like using him being based off the Beast as like a possible hint at a redemption thing. But honestly, I
don't think that's happening at this point.
I think there's less of a chance of Adam being redeemed than Cinder, which is crazy because Cinder's technically killed Penny and she killed Pyrrha.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I just see Cinder possibility of at least rebelling against Salem. Doesn't mean she's good, but at least going against Salem.
Cinder and Salem certainly have their differences, so it's not like that would come out of nowhere. Like Cinder is still like pretty mad because she's like, "Hey, I want to go kill Ruby or whatever." But like Salem's like, "No, don't do that." Like they're gonna argue.
Yeah, and there's also like the Call of the Maiden theory that I've been having of like the Maiden powers telling Cinder to do her maiden duties, which is like to fight against Salem and to help protect Earth and humanity.
And then like that would be going on for Vanal for like 10 years going, and she's just like, no. Or whatever she's doing over there, I guess. But
yeah. Oh man. Like, I'm just really glad with how info-packed the last few episodes have been. Although I will say it makes it really troublesome for when you're doing a reaction video and you end watching the video and you try to like kind of recap your thoughts about the episode afterwards. And you completely forget about some stuff because of like the later part of the episode. Like with chapter 4, I was like solely focused on Weiss and Yang reuniting, when there's like a lot of stuff earlier on in that episode that were definitely worth focusing on and talking about.
That's why, like, Hunter and I have, like, bare notes. Like, because we do the reaction, and then we go back and watch it again. So we have, like, we have notes for days. Like, it's a little ridiculous, but, like, a lot of people are like, you missed something important, and I'm like, listen, like, my analysis came out a week ago, and this is the reaction, so trust me, like, if I missed something, it would have been in the analysis. I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of what VYTALCast is kind of used for me. Except for me, it's more of like discussion and fangirling. And honestly, I don't have like a very strict identity for VYTALCast. Because sometimes we'd like report on news in the fandom. But then there's like other times where I kind of don't want to talk about the news in the fandom. Like, there was something this week that happened that I'm not even gonna touch. So
I think I know what you're talking about, so we may need to talk later, but that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, we could talk later about that. And
Yeah.
actually, there might have been two things, but I'm pretty sure you and I are thinking the same thing. And Sunny's just like in the dark. She's like, I've been at school. I've avoided drama.
Oh, I can make it brighter. Hi.
What? All right, so we're hitting about the last 5 or so minutes. Do you guys have any last thoughts you want to focus on?
I mean, I have like one little thing. It's not that important, but like, remember how we were talking about like after episode 1, like those little tendrils that like attacked Lionheart? They're like, oh, that's Watt's weapon, but like, no, it's the Seeger Grim. It's like, I don't understand how we didn't realize that before.
Yeah, that was the thing Cal accidentally spoiled via thumbnail to me.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, like, it was a very small thing. Like, it's not, like, plot sensitive. If it was, like, plot sensitive, like, if you put Yang and Weiss reuniting on a thumbnail for, like, your analysis video, like, the day after the episode came out...
I know, I would...
Then,
that's why I did do it. I don't remember the thumbnail I used, but I was just like, this is perfect, but people would be so cheesed.
Yeah.
Like, I can't deal with that. Like, I never do that to anybody ever. Like, it would be ridiculous.
Like, are you guys familiar with how I do my reaction thumbnails?
Kind of, yeah.
So it's usually like a screenshot from my reaction, and then I'll usually like cut out a character from the episode, like usually a part that I really liked, into the thumbnail. But the part I really wanted to cut out was Weiss and Yang reuniting. I'm like, I can't put that in the thumbnail. So instead, I just put text saying something awesome here, and like it's like I'm just gonna make a joke of there being a lack of something because the thing I want to include would probably piss a lot of people off if they wait till YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Because like, I basically just hope to God there's like a thumbnail of me smiling, and I use whatever that is for my reactions. But with my analysis, I have more time. But it's like,
out of
okay,
the
like,
three, the 3 suggestions.
YouTube is pretty good at like you know, figuring that out now. Like, it's a little
for
scary,
me, it's been terrible.
Be really?
Yeah, for me, it's always like when I'm blinking or I'm like, and I'm like, gosh, YouTube,
it's
do
like,
you hate me?
It's like some good ones for me. Like, it's like I'm either smiling or like Hunter is doing something weird, and I'm like, yes. Oh
Yeah.
shoot.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's been 2 auto thumbnails I've used lately, and they were on Senpai Noticed Me, which was like a joke video I made, and then. Let's see. It was the miscellaneous gaming moments, which I made a thumbnail for that, but then the automatic thumbnail was like a really funny part in the video. I'm like, I'll keep that. Okay, who was the SOB who thumbs down that? Now it has a 50-50 ratio. Thanks. Okay.
I had that problem earlier this week, is that I made this video which was like, I guess the title was, I don't want to say clickbait, but I guess it misled some people because it was like why Raven is a better mom than Ty.
Oh, snap.
And then like that got like, it has like a 50 dislike ratio, and I'm like, guys, like actually watch it first.
Yeah.
Like, it was legit, but like you know, like there was still like it probably wasn't like well conveyed what we were trying to say like in that instance, and so
Yeah.
like that's the first video I've seen that has
Yeah,
like
like,
a 50-50 dislike on my
that
channel.
that
and I'm
was
like,
a video
guys,
that like
uh-oh.
once I saw my subscription feed, I was like, something tells me that's gonna be very controversial.
Yeah, because you're like,
But
just,
miscellaneous
like,
gaming
somewhere,
moments,
like, you're
come
like,
on.
Oh, Cal, what are you doing?
I mean, miscellaneous gaming moments that are like funny moments that I had just saved in my Xbox DVR that I'm like, I'm gonna upload these to YouTube. 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, and a spam comment. Ah. So. Oh, actually, speaking of gaming, my friend Sunny on Discord, sorry, not you, Sunny, but like,
Yeah.
I'll call her Sylphie, because her name's Sylphie on Discord and her gaming stuff, but she has told me there is actually a Ruby mod for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, where you could make Dark Pit Ruby Rose. And I really want to try it out. And there's like Captain Falcon as All Might, and like if you play as like Ryu, the guy that from the Punch Out, you could have him be like Goku or one of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure guys. So like it's like, oh man, that'll be very funny to play.
That sounds absurd.
Yeah. So if you guys want to join me for some Super Smash, oh, I don't think it'll work over Wi-Fi though. That's a bummer. But that's something I definitely want to check. And oh, okay. So Inspector Who said, I hope Ying's arm has more features. If you guys
just the gun, I guess.
It's also a gun.
He just wanted to be also a gun. So, okay, because I know there was like the joke from RTX this year.
Oh, the vibrating function?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that, and I was like, is that where you're going, Inspector? What are you trying to say?
No, like, I was like, I don't know, like, the thumb pops out and it's also a lighter. That'd
be hilarious, like, if Yang just started, like cigars all of
Yeah.
a sudden. She's just like, all right, listen, Crow has his liquor. I don't know what my mom's doing, but like everybody jokes that like Raven left to go get her cigarettes and never came back. I feel like that'd be a nice comeback. Like, let me light you up, Mom. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So I was
Oh,
thinking
God.
either like a lighter or maybe like something with like a hand mirror. I don't know. Maybe a pair of scissors. Although she doesn't cut her hair often.
Like a
so I
Swiss
doubt
Army
that.
knife.
Yeah,
it has all of these things.
Swiss Army knife arm. Swiss arm. That's what we'll call it. Swiss arm. Yeah.
Knife.
Just save the ink and not type out the Y. Swiss arm.
I like how like earlier I was getting called, and now like where I am on screen, like Sunny has people like talking to her in the background because
Yeah,
They're just like
We're in a
looking. They're like,
dorm.
what the heck is she doing? She's so weird. There are robbers behind you.
I know.
That's a pretty good comment.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's the UPS guy that stole my 2DS XL.
Oh,
Ugh.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hired him to give it to me.
Oh, great. Well, at least you got good taste in Pokemon-themed DSs. So, all right. So I think that's where we're gonna end the show tonight. But Cal, I am interested in talking to you about the
Okay.
drama. So,
All right. Let's go.
all right. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe to Cal and Sunny if you want. Their information's on the screen, and if you want to subscribe to Portal 64 or share this, feel free, and we will boop you next time.